Greetings, citizens, and thanks for joining me here today at Smash and Crash for our quick look at the Xi'An Scout Kartu-al.
Initiated.
I love that great loading screen when you get in there. It's kind of flickering between Xi'an and, I suppose, English or Earth, whatever the language would be called. So the HUD and the cockpit here are very simple, very direct. These are all just, I mean, it's all glass. The ship has a wonderful look to it. It looks like a giant flying red star, or maybe some kind of a bug where the cockpit at the bottom is the eyes and it's got a big proboscis there and the legs are where the engines are. It flies beautifully. It is a little more delicate than you'd like, but it can survive a lot of damage because it'll get bits and pieces taken off of it and it will still fly. Regardless of how delicate it is, it maneuvers wonderfully. We'll get into that later, but it maneuvers so well that you don't have really a whole lot to be afraid of as long as you're on your toes to avoid things and not turning so hard that you're slamming into the rockets that are being fired at you. Just like any other ship, you can cycle through the different HUDs here. The bars in the middle, the way that the cockpit here is set up, bars running through the middle of my screen, really, it's just a pet peeve of mine. I'm not a big fan, but I gotta tell you, I don't really notice them in here after a few minutes. It's a personal preference, but, you know, that's just me. I'm not a big fan of that look, but honestly, I'm okay with it on this ship, and I like the color scheme better anyway. So, as you can see, this thing only has 2 M5A lasers, no other missiles, nothing else, but most likely it's going to get tweaks, updates, nerfs, and buffs, because, you know, we're still in alpha, and that's the beauty part about alpha. It handles like a monster. Well, I don't know if a monster would be appropriate, but it handles crazy well. And there's bound to be some more work done to it over time, and mine needs work now. I meant that its handling was very responsive. I didn't insinuate in any way that I could handle it well. So you may have noticed that I just slammed right into that landing platform. That is because this thing handles so well and has so little drift that when I turned, it changed direction without drifting at all, and I didn't realize how close I was to that platform. This is challenging to learn to use in that respect, but man, you can dodge bullets and missiles and lasers, well, you know, all projectiles. This thing just, it tears it up. It just flips around on a dime. It is a wonderfully handling ship, and I'm still getting a little used to it. This ship may maneuver well, but it's no slouch in the weapons department either. It's got 2 M5A lasers, which are very, very strong. It's what the Constellations use. They do overheat after about 60 shots, and what you're about to see in a moment here is that it doesn't actually give you a warning. It doesn't give you any of the warning lights or anything on your HUD like it normally does. The weapons on the left side just go to overheat, so you got to be careful about that just in case you overheat and damage the weapons. Now, I know there have been some instances where the M5As have not been overheating like they should, but I believe that was just a bug. Another nifty feature of this particular ship is that it's kind of like a transformer. So I'm going to bring it in for a landing here, and we're going to take a look at what it looks like while you're coming in for a landing, because it's really neat. All the bits and pieces of it change and re-jigger to be able to land, because clearly this is not designed for landing. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. It's a completely different ship now. It almost looks like a jet ski of some sort, or maybe like a giant metal red intergalactic hummingbird. Gonna go up a little bit so you can see the transformation the other way. Giant copyrighted transforming robots, eat your heart out. Let me give you a quick little example of how delicate this ship can actually be. It is fast, it is not necessarily sturdy. I came in for a landing that was just a little bit too hard, and now I've got, I don't know, maybe a dragonfly. I just completely snapped off the front end of the ship. Let's see what a successful landing looks like from inside the ship. When you come down too fast, there it is, that front piece that pulls up in front of you doesn't get pulled up all the way, so you just like land right on top of the point. I guess tantamount to jamming a pencil into a desktop or something. It's just going to snap the tip right off. It's not terribly sturdy in that respect, but that's not really going to impact your maneuverability too much, or at least I haven't found it to. It's not going to impact the stability of the ship very much. It barely impacts the look of it because it looks like the thing was designed to snap off. So let's go ahead and bring it on in for a landing. We can take a look at what the entrance and exit animations of it are. I really like the hovering stairs. It's just so much detail went into the way that they did all of these ships and all of these animations. It's hard to pick a favorite, but this one is just really so unique and so far withdrawn from all the other ships. It's just really, really very cool. It's similar to the Glaive and the Scythe, but overall, I mean, this one is just a super unique ship. You can only get into it from the one side. It doesn't allow you to enter from the, well, I guess it'd be the passenger side, but it's a one-seater, so you can only get in through this one. Stairs come down, thing opens up, and there you go. And here's that wonderful welcome screen again. It's just so intense. I love it. It's like something out of Predator. The speeds on this thing are some impressive stats as well. Starting off in space combat mode at about 290 meters a second, boosting up to 450 and cruising at 900, this thing can easily fight, maneuver, run, turn around, come back, and then, you know, really run and not come back if it has to. It is fast, it is maneuverable, it is awesome.
Vandal Swarm initiated.
Now let's see what this thing can do in combat. So first and foremost, you're rocking 2 M5A laser cannons on the top of your ship there. Well, kind of middle, but above the cockpit. And boom! There it goes. Bye-bye Vandal. Now, granted, it doesn't take a whole lot to take out a Vandal. They aren't heavily armored. This is Arena Commander. I just like being overdramatic with things like that because, whatever, it's fun. So, the M5As are strong. If you've ever gone up against a Constellation, you face some of these. But as you can see, the real strength here is the maneuvering. If you just look at how this thing is tearing around the field, it's turning on a dime. It's not really stopping much at all. But it is able to turn and relocate the same target it was after. It was able to find a new target, and not to mention, it'll be able to run circles around a few of them here. You'll actually see it doing that. It pulls tight circles, moving at high speed without blacking out, and that is an extremely, extremely valuable thing to be able to do. Let's go ahead and recap this thing. This is the Xi'An Light Fighter, the Kartu-al, that's been modified by APOA for human flight. It has 4 articulated engines on there that gives you wonderful maneuverability, unmatched maneuverability. I haven't used anything that maneuvers as well anyway, and I've used just about every ship there is. It's got the 2 M5A laser cannons on there. It's crazy fast, 290 meters per second in space combat mode, boosting up to 450 and topping out at 900 meters a second. That is a fast, fast ship. Get in, hit your target, or run away if you have to. It's great, and it transforms just like that. I love it. So, I just want to say thank you very much to the CIG team because this thing is beautiful. The weight and balancing, the way that it moves, the way that it breaks, the way that it transforms, the entrance and exit animations, the shading, the colors, everything about this ship looks like a little work of art. It is one of my favorite ships, if for no other reason than how it looks, but the way that it handles is amazing. It does fall behind the Cutlass. I'm sorry, I still love the Cutlass, gotta stay loyal. But this ship is wonderful. If you're doing things like scout missions or stuff you don't need a whole lot of cargo on, or if you don't need to pick up other people, or if you're looking to just go in and cause some trouble with those M5As, I say go for it. It's a sturdy ship, it is wonderful, it's very well done. Thank you again for joining me here at Smash and Crash for the quick look at the Xi'An Kartu-al by APOA. I'm Dua, I've been your host for most all of these videos here, actually all of them so far, but we'll see how many other people we get tied in to do the voiceover work. I want to say thank you very much for checking out these videos, and thank you to the CIG team for providing so much content and flexibility. If you all like what you see, please like, share, subscribe, share me on Facebook, Twitter. If you didn't, Tell me, let me know. I want to know what you want to see. Emails, comments, anything is appreciated. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the verse. Ah, dang it.